on. Hey, everybody, welcome to That's Good Stuff, the show where we take deep dives into pop culture's newest releases. And this release was a Beetlejuice, Tim Burton's return to the character that first hit the screens in 1988. The Ghost with the Most, starring some returning actors. Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara come back in their roles. And we get some new cast: Justin Theroux, Monica Bellucci, Jenna Ortega, and Willem Dafoe. Good old Willem. So this one returns Beetlejuice. So before we get to him, we get a little backstories for what's been going on with Lydia. She's had a daughter, and her husband that she had her with is gone, out of the picture, lost to the jungle. And she now stars in kind of a talk show, ghost hunter kind of hybrid show.
Just like Madam Web.
Just like
the parent to the rainforest.
So she has kind of a cold relationship with her daughter. Her daughter doesn't like her because she thinks she exploits her ghost powers, her medium seeing powers. But her grandpa has passed away. And so it's time to come back for the funeral, the whole family. And while they are there, Lydia's gets engaged to her, I guess it's her manager. I don't know if they said.
Manager,
agent.
producer, person.
Yes.
I don't know.
So he proposes to her, and she's like, I don't know, I guess. And they want to have the wedding on October the 31st, right? Is Halloween.
Okay, they also say like October 31st at midnight. I'm just like, technically that's November the 1st.
Unless they did it.
Let's not say the witching hour. Isn't that 3:30?
That's what I thought. Yeah,
I don't think they do. So for people who love Halloween, they don't know much about it. So yeah, that's going on. Lydia's daughter, what was her name? I forget.
Astrid.
Yeah.
Astrid. Yeah, so she's rebelling, and part of that is she meets a boy by falling through the fence on her bike, and it's kismet with this kid.
Hard with a tree.
Can I just say, as a teenager who read Tolstoy and listened to vinyl, I never had Jenna Ortega run into me like that. I'm
pretty
sorry.
Sad. Tom.
Yeah,
you didn't kill your parents or break your neck out of a tree.
We're getting ahead of ourselves there, Michael.
So she falls in love with the boy in the treehouse, but turns out he's got some nefarious plans. Spoilers. I guess that was kind of a spoiler, but spoilers for all we talk about. Yeah. So it's up to Lydia to save her from the afterlife. So the only way she knows how is to call out for Beetlejuice's help. And she's been seeing him in her visions and dreams and stuff like that. It hasn't made her too happy. So she's not too fond of calling him because, back in the day, he wanted to marry the teenage Lydia, and he still has a thing for her. So, but desperate for help, she calls him, and then he shows up, and he has been running from his ex-wife, who's returned from the boxes, crates that she was kept in.
That we learned about through a French art film flashback.
Oh, it was Spanish.
Was it Spanish?
Yeah.
It was French.
It was like a telenovela.
Oh, okay. My bad. I zoned out because I was like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, so the rest of the movie is them trying to save Astrid with the help of the stepmom and Beetlejuice, and we'll get into some other characters. So, what did we think of the movie? First of all, what do you guys think of the first one? Like I said, been a long time since I've actually seen the first one. When I was a kid growing up, the cartoon was going on, so I was kind of aware of the cartoon. But what you guys think of the first one?
You want to go first?
I just watched it last night because we went and saw the second one in the evening. Then I got home and I was like, I don't remember the first one at all. I'm gonna jump into this one. So I watched the first one all over again. It was actually really cool doing that because I got to see all the stuff I mean, you could do it either way, but seeing all the stuff that they added in the second movie, having just seen it but not realizing what callbacks it were to it, I enjoyed that a lot. My opinion of it grew for sure because the first time I saw it, I was like, that was interesting and funny. The second time I watched it, I remember being like, I didn't like that as much. This time I was like, that was a really good movie. So I guess it just depends on what you're doing and when you watch it, how you feel about the movie. But I really liked rewatching the first one last night.
Cool. Anyone else?
Yeah, I was more familiar with the cartoon as a kid. Just I never watched it. I actually didn't watch Beetlejuice until I was like in my 20s because that's the same time when Jared made me watch Nightmare Before Christmas, and so I was like, oh, I kind of want to check out Beetlejuice. So I checked that out. It was pretty good. Practical effects are pretty cool for 1988.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. It's very Tim Burton.
Yeah.
So.
And then also going back because I guess I've been watching 30 Rock, and then the dad in it is Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin.
Like I saw the name and I saw his face, and I was like,
he's so
really?
young there too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's young. He looks like a different being. Like he's so slim and tiny, where he's this big man later on the rest of his life. Like his head looks half the size. Like what? How strange! It was very weird.
I never watched the first one. Still haven't.
Well,
You
still
didn't watch the second one with that?
I forgot to watch it before I watched this one, so I remember a few episodes of the cartoon show. That's about it.
They did a pretty good job on the recap of
Yeah,
one.
yeah. You don't need it.
You understood it.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I barely remembered anything about the first one, literally at all. So going back to it,
I was a big fan of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, so I remember that more than I do Beetlejuice. I do remember a little bit of Beetlejuice, though. But all right, so what did you guys think of this one? How should we start?
You're the host.
Jared, you didn't see the first one at all. So what did you actually think of the second one?
I liked it. I like a lot of Burton stuff, but there's a lot I don't like. Especially like his most recent stuff. Not that great. But I love Nightmare Before Christmas, which he wrote, and I like Sweeney Todd and stuff like that. I like his style, like the black and white stripes and stuff like that. Like the Afterlife is really cool. It's always reminds me of like Grim Fandango or something like that. I like the shrunken head dudes. Like Bob was one of my favorite
poor
characters.
Bob.
Bob did not deserve that.
R.I.P. Bob.
The Planet Dune was on it, which was kind of fun. I like the stop motion parts in it. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And like Thomas was saying, or you guys were saying, is like you didn't really need to see the first one. I think it kind of gives you enough backstory, and then you can just jump in and have a good time with this one. But this one was it didn't seem that long. It was like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that.
First one,
Fast.
so it was fast. It didn't overstay its welcome. I haven't heard that Cake song in forever.
MacArthur Park.
So I had a good time. I thought it was all right, especially for like a Halloween movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Michael, what did you think?
I was definitely pleasantly surprised by this movie because, like I said, after my second viewing of Beetlejuice, I was less high on it. And so I hadn't rewatched it yet. And so I went into this. I was like, it should be interesting, fine, whatever. But I love how, like, rewatching the first one last night, like, the credits are almost identical. Like, how it's going through the font, everything. It just feels super 90s Halloween, just kind of
the miniatures are still there for
it's just that, like,
the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's like it's just that comforting kind of. They're those comforting Halloween movies, and they're like my favorites. I love them so much. Like I'll watch Halloween Town. I don't care how bad it is. But and then going to this one, but like the story caught me by surprise because I expected several times throughout just like the kind of typical story you go through, but there were a lot of twists and turns I didn't expect. I didn't expect the boyfriend twist and turn. I didn't expect going on with it. Although one part that still confuses me that I thought they were going to go a different direction with was they were like, I can't see your dad.
Yeah.
She keeps saying I've never seen it, so I thought the dad was going to be alive, but then he was dead, and they never explained why she couldn't see him. So that's one thing that never came through for me. But the rest, I really enjoyed the rest of it. I like the characters a lot. I like the kind of progression. The freaking Home Alone mom, she was great in this.
Yeah.
She was super funny. And then going back to rewatch the first one, not remembering her in it at all. I'm like, oh yeah, you were awful in the first one. You're so annoying. And then the new one, she's just kind of.
I did like that.
Accepted
So we eventually got along. It's like, you liked me after I got successful. No. I liked you before that.
No, it started before it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Comparing the first one and the second one with the actual Beetlejuice character, because he's so in it so infrequently. I feel like the first one, he's just kind of ramped up to 11. This one, he was a little more toned down, even though it seems kind of crazy. You know, he's like spilling our guts. That was a scene Johnny and I laughed pretty hard at whenever they're like talking about therapy or whatever. And then the crazy baby comes in and all that junk.
That baby, man, I was like,
that's terrifying.
That's a freaky baby, yeah.
But in the original, like it's just like the squirrel from Hoodwink that has coffee, man. He doesn't stop. It's insane. He's grabbing everyone, talking to everyone in the ear, kissing everyone on the face. You're like, calm down, sir, for a second. But I enjoyed it. So it was interesting to see how much they had toned it down really with him. But definitely enjoyed the movie very, very much, and one I'll revisit for sure.
Thomas?
I really like this one. It was kind of I won't say a breath of fresh air exactly, but it's more of like Tim Burton. Like, it's actually a good Tim Burton movie. It felt more like him. That I'm sorry. I probably laughed more times than I thought I was going to in this movie. Yeah. Especially with when Beetlejuice was like lip syncing, and which I'm sorry.
You did a good job.
Like, yeah. Well,
when he sings that Bryan Adams song.
I lost it. I'm sorry. When they like zoom in and he's like really tiny in the model, I lost it. I was like, I mean, my theater wasn't packed, but it was like there's quite a few people there. But I was like, I was starting to feel bad because I was still laughing.
Can you guess at which part? Sorry, I went Johnny and Ari. Can you guess at which part Johnny just was wheezing with laughter? It's one of the song parts. It's one of the song parts.
What's the other song they sing? Because they do Bryan Adams.
Was it the left the cake out in the rain part?
No, it's the part where he's talking about the ones we've lost. It just shows the random dog in like the over the screen thing, and Johnny, that's what he did. He just started wheezing over to my right. I was like, good Lord, it killed him. That whenever Bob's eyes blew up, him and Ari were both crying.
Sweet Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That actually surprised me too. That they
I know. I was
like, I did not expect that.
I laughed quite a bit when Beetlejuice is like talking to him, and then you pan over to him, and he's like his double.
He's like,
I actually,
you're gonna take the bullet from me here. I'm gonna scare you.
You gotta walk right in front of me. Make sure she gets your soul before me.
I like when she goes to his office and Bob's under the desk, and he's just like freaked out.
I like when Beetlejuice like breaks the wall of the office, and he's like, "Okay, everyone didn't see that," and then it just like takes off.
Okay, Michael. For some reason, I don't know why, but the fiance's character, did that make you laugh a lot or no?
The like artist tool dude.
Yeah. Like the part where I was just like, I think Michael's probably cracking up at this part is where he has those cardboard boxes and he's like walking and he hears it turns him over the head. He's like,
it made me laugh. He throws it like a 10 and starts running off.
I don't know why, but I instantly thought of Michael when I saw that.
It was very funny.
But yeah, this was really funny. It was again, like what Michael was saying, it wasn't too over the top. It was still pretty like crazy because it's a Tim Burton movie. But you know, it was legitimately funny. Like I actually really enjoyed watching this. I didn't think I would because
I think a lot of it was like it's great to have Keaton in a movie because I love Keaton. Like especially in comedies like this or like Mr. Mom. It's so much fun.
Well, and part of it too is that it's like one of those like movies you didn't really expect a sequel from. It's like Beetlejuice, really, especially like 30 years afterwards. You're just like, I don't know if we need that, but it was a good sequel. I liked it. I even like Jenna Ortega. I thought she was actually pretty good in this.
Great. Yeah, she's been good in things I've seen her in.
I still need to watch what's that show called? The
Wednesday.
Yeah, wasn't the first episode. I've heard it's
pretty good.
What was I gonna say? I remember. Okay.
Did you like guys like the Danny DeVito cameo.
Yeah, I did.
Mhm.
His contacts were creepy though. Like I've never seen his eyes that wide. They're just like continuously going around like that. Like,
I'm
chill.
kind of impressed the way that they handled the dad. Like,
Yeah, so I didn't know about that, or I didn't remember
Yeah.
it until after the movie, and then I was reading of it, and I was like, "Oh, dang!"
Yeah.
Well, they had their task. I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings about it because, like we should mention the dad in the original. The guy in real life was convicted for
not good material.
yeah,
Say
so
that.
soliciting a minor. So
Uh-oh.
yeah, so the way they deal with it on this is he's not in it, but there's like a claymation version of him, kind of in the Tim Burton style. And then
I
he gets
liked that, by the way. That was really cool.
It was really cool. And then he gets his head eaten by a shark, which is funny. I kind of like that. But like a lot of people pointed out, it's kind of creepy about like the kids singing at his funeral, and
I love that song, by the way. Banana Boat. That's a great song.
That was pretty funny.
Also, I didn't realize that Tim Burton had to like really fight to get that in the first one because the studio didn't want to use it. He's like, no. I want to use Banana Boat. Like that.
well,
This is what I envision.
the studio thought that it was just insane that they wanted to do this movie. It's like there's no way this is going to sell. But yeah, so the dad thing, I think it was a mixed bag. They kind of handled it well, and they kind of didn't, because they kept mentioning him like the whole time. He's like a character.
He is a character. He's missing half of himself, but
yeah. I kind of wish that they kind of just mentioned that his head got chopped or eaten, and kind of left it at that. But
I did like how the story of the claymation is like, oh, he survived? No. Well, I was like,
yeah.
yes, but then he got eaten by a shark.
So for me, it was kind of it was kind of a mixed bag. So there was a lot of hit and miss comedy from when they're outside the afterlife world. Keen's was the best part for me. Beetlejuice is just like a cartoon character come to life, and I think he got all the funny lines, and that was the parts that I really enjoyed. I didn't enjoy a lot of the Winona Ryder stuff, and then I just think it lacked a little focus. Like the whole villain we didn't really need a villain. I thought Monica Bellucci's character, she didn't really do much other than she was there for some jokes, but really her character seems like a Men in Black villain or something running around. It was kind of weird.
I'm sorry, Willem Dafoe. Do you recognize this person? Oh, never seen her.
Willem Dafoe was pretty funny.
He was
Yeah,
great.
he's really good.
But
Goofy as heck.
I love how he keeps getting coffee.
It just breaks it and throws it.
And then the boyfriend thing, it was just seemed kind of wasted because he dies real easily. He's just there, and then
I'm sorry.
Bill's
That's
just
a
drops
great
it.
line, though. It's like people just stamping. It's like, as Dostoevsky said, "Rotten hell, ever."
That was actually one thing I liked. I liked the fact because I felt like he was going to be the classic. Think of the revamp of Ghostbusters. They have the classic villain at the end, and it just feels like a video game. And that's what I was worried this was going to turn into. But then it turned into a goofy musical in a church. But
I'm not gonna. So I actually like that there wasn't a main villain. It was just, it's just a story, and Beetlejuice is kind of the villain, sort of. Even though I'll be honest, I was kind of rooting for him. Good on you, because he's actually protecting.
I hope they make
people.
a happy couple.
Yeah, but I did Winona Ryder's it's the 600-year age gap, man. It's I think that might be a bit much. So, but
and then
go ahead.
The Big Arthur Park was funny, but it went on a long time. That ending, it just kept going.
And then they get to the point where they're like, I need to draw something, and then poof, 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 done. Like that's the part where some of the things happened so fast. I was like, did I miss something?
It just went on a little long for me.
See, I love the musical ending. I thought that was great.
I mean, it was good, but then it just kept going.
I know,
like,
but
wow.
I thought it was
Yeah.
funny though.
We're gonna sing the whole
Going
song.
the whole way here.
I like the progression of the priest, and he's just like, I'm out. I can't.
I know. I expected like some sort of like mid-credit scene with him like doing something weird or something because he's kind of slunk away.
When he's talking to, is it Delia? Is that her name?
Yeah.
The mom?
Yeah.
It's like, when he's like spouts off like some kind of like scripture, and she's like, what?
Oh, yeah. What? That was funny. Yeah, so it was like, yeah, I mean, it was fine. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, but there's got to be
I give it an 8, honestly. I think I enjoyed it a bit more than the first one.
Really?
Mostly, I think, I mean, it's probably a high for me, I guess, right now, but mostly because I just didn't expect anything. And the fact that I was actually enjoying this and didn't mind it at all. Also, by the way, 100-minute movie. That was perfect. Perfect time. Like didn't drag on too long.
Yep. There's got to be a third one, right? They got to finish it.
That's
with
what I saw
Beetlejuice.
interviews before, were like clips of interviews where they're asking Tim Burton about a third. He's like, yeah, but I'd be like 100 by then because he's going by the time difference. So he's like, probably not. But then I'm like, well, how you end this one? I feel like you have to make another one, right? Like it ends so weirdly.
Even the title is
So
just
weird.
Yeah.
That was a weird ending, by the way.
Such
Like,
a
I
weird.
was
That's
just
why I'm like, how are you not trying to point towards things with this? This is just. I don't know.
Oh, the ending where they're like
The dream sequences, and then she gets it twice, and then looks over, and
I have the weirdest dream.
That was hilarious.
it was disturbing in the doctor's office first, though, because it was such happy music, and then the little baby comes out and starts eating everyone. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, it got really bloody there. Like,
Yeah.
like
It's a brutal movie.
Baby went for the throat.
Yeah, so I like I said, Beetlejuice was the best part for me, and I understand why they did the way they did it because I heard they were talking about it before, and they're like, we want it like the original. Like Keaton said, he wouldn't come back unless it was where he didn't want to be like in the whole movie the whole time. He just wanted about as much as they did in the original, and then they didn't want it to be PC. They wanted Beetlejuice to remain like kind of a pervert, like he
Beetlejuice.
is. Yeah. So that makes sense. I just wish they kind of tightened it up a little bit, the script, but
Like the flyer of Beetlejuice. Ew.
Why is it spelled Beetlejuice?
Because that's the joke, is that he doesn't really know how to spell his own name because he can't say his own name.
Yeah,
So he does-
misspells
so-
it.
Yeah, he misspells it.
Okay, because I watched second one and I was like, that's weird. And then I went back and watched the first one. I was waiting for them to
Well,
reference it.
Because
It
there's
never
like
happened.
three different versions of how to spell it, and it's like, well, question mark, maybe.
I was just
Yeah.
like, but, okay, that makes sense. What
Have
the
you
one-
guys?
The one with the G's, the star, right? Because it's named after like an actual star in a
Ooh.
constellation, but I think that's
Oh,
the you spell it,
Beetlejuice.
that
Yeah, that's a star. Yeah. Beetlejuician is what Ford Prefect is saying. Hitchhiker's Guide Galaxy there. So
Yep.
Don't remember that movie at all.
Dang, we
Need to
gotta
rewatch
watch
that
it.
one.
We're gonna have to rewatch that one.
gotta reread that book, Michael. It's great.
Okay, so in the beginning of the credits, it says that it was created by 2 different people. Where did Beetlejuice come from? Like, did they create it for Tim Burton to make the movie?
I think
Yeah,
so,
the guy wrote it. No, I think it was 2 people actually.
Yeah, it's 2 people that created him.
Yeah, they made the script and then they sent they showed it to Tim Burton and he's like, I like that. And they changed it because it was a lot darker, the original version. And Beetlejuice is like an actual scary ghost kind of thing, but Tim Burton got to it and so they lightened it up a lot. And he wanted that music that they play in there a lot. So
The music in this was also really good, by the way. Like the
yeah,
score.
I mean the whole theme is just
I mean, it's Danny.
very
It's Danny.
nostalgic.
It's Danny Elfman. I mean, yeah. So I like his stuff though. So, but have you guys watched the Beetle or at least listened to the Beetlejuice musical at all?
Mm-mm.
It's really good. I recommend you do it. It's very story's different from the original movie, but they kind of make fun of that. It's like, oh, it's a ballad already, and it's such a diversion from the source material. So, but it's funny.
Yeah, I've never seen. I'd seen that when I was looking it up, but then I've never seen any of the cartoon before.
Cartoon's cool. It's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I was just gonna say it was like on USA, and it was like hard to find for a long time. It wasn't like anywhere.
It's
but
on Tubi now, isn't it?
Yeah, they just finally got it on Tubi.
Let's
So
watch this Halloween. Be fun.
Kind of reminded me of is it Monsters? That one. It's kind of in that realm of kind of creepy cartoons. So
yeah, it's like the Ghostbuster ones too. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Unless you guys have some more thoughts you want to go into.
Don't think so.
We talked about the new characters too. We talked about Willem Dafoe. And we talked about the boyfriend. So that's pretty much it, right?
oh, I will say that. So I don't really like watching like the gross Tim Burton movies with food, but I almost ordered something at Alamo just based on the name. It's Tally Me Banana Pudding. I was like,
It looked good too.
I'm like,
oh, I got to do my theater stories though. So when I get there, our theater was packed completely. For some reason, Johnny chose the second row. Don't ask me why, but it was fine. It wasn't that bad at Alamo.
that's too close.
Yeah, it's not that bad at Alamo, but it's still close. But I sit down next to this kid and his mom. And like the first thing I hear, because the kid I guess looked over and she's like, "It's okay," because I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Oh, great." So I kind of sit at the edge of my seat over here. But then this kid gets his food, and it's like the only thing that mattered in the world. Everything passed away. There were no more worries about sitting next to a stranger. He's just like chomping on his fries and slurping his drink like a lunatic, throwing his arms up there. He was totally in the movie. And then at parts you enjoy, he'd hit his mom, and be like, "I like that a lot." And I mean, this kid was probably 6 with like big old glasses. It was adorable. And then he finishes his drink, and it's no joke, 30 to 45 seconds of like all to the right. Everyone looks over at me, and I was just like, it's this 6-year-old. What do you want me to do? I can't yell at him. He's having a good time. So it was like one of those like disruptions to a movie, but it also kind of added to it because of how much he was enjoying it. So I didn't mind at all. But it was very amusing to hear this kid's enjoyment of Beetlejuice.
It's kind of like the Mario movie all over again. Like the kid's enjoyment is part of the experience.
Yeah. But
there's a lot of kids at mine.
Him slurping that drink though, it was so loud. It was like what you would think of that, but just like double the noise. I don't know how he was doing it. It was impressive. Yeah.
All right.
That's all I had.
That's all we got for this time. So like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff. And we will see you next time. Bye.